Will now exchange gifts at center ice. Would you please welcome the president of hockey for Dynamo Latvia, Alfons Gaelitis. And Mark Messier of the Edmonton Oilers.
We are experiencing temporary difficulties with satellite transmission. Please stand by.
Mr. Paul Lorio sings, and Mr. Torben Holt Peterson plays the Soviet national anthem and O Canada.
This is the NHL Soviet Super Series. All will be the referee, the linesman, Randy Mitten, and Swede Knox.
The goaltenders for tonight's game for Dynamo Riga, this young guy, Artur Urbe, he has been spectacular in the first game that we have seen. His idol is at the other end of the ice, and that happens to be Grant Fuhr, who's going to be playing for the Edmonton Oilers. Not sure if Grant Fuhr is going to be playing all of the game tonight. That was a decision that Glenn Sather hadn't made a commitment on. So we may see a little Bill Ranford later in the game, but Glenn Sather wants to win the game, and he will go accordingly.
Well, Grant Fuhr has been a bit of a story in this city simply because he has not played very well through the early part of the year, but according to Sather, the last couple of starts have been pretty good ones for Fuhr, and they hope now that he's coming back into form. Face-off at center ice. We're underway as Kevin Lowe picks it up, gives to Messier at center ice, who hands it off to Anderson. Anderson clearing it. Offside to Messier at the blue line. And Mark Messier trying to get the jump on the defense as we look at the coach, Vladimir Yurchinov. 15 years he played in the Soviet League with Moscow Dynamo. Been a head coach for a long time, and taking a look at the way his team performs on the ice, making full use of the talent available, you have to say he's not a good coach.
Oh, he is. He's got a well-disciplined hockey club, and he says they're well-conditioned, so he's not worried about these back-to-back games.
Kevin Lowe at center ice, Bukberger clearing it in. And the Soviets going in after it there. That's Durden. Up along the boards. And the Soviets bringing to center ice is Belyovsky. Belyovsky over the line now as they work it in front of the net. Akulinen trying to get set, but he's being tied up by Messier. Loose puck. Kersh circling. Going deep. Kersh. Being checked by Messier. All the way around. Shoots it. Blocked at the defense. And Bukberger cleared it away. Here's a quick shot. Hit the side of the net. That one taken by Belyovsky. Against the boards, Messier and Belyovsky battle. And it's Kevin Lowe who goes behind his net, but is left for his defensive mate. That's cleared through center ice. Bukberger can't get that one. Moving up with the puck now is Zinoviev. Zinoviev over the line, leaving it for Zinoviev. Zinoviev out in front of the net, trying to get set. Zinoviev drops it back to the blue line. There's the shot. Stick saved by Grant Fuhr. Zinoviev after it in the corner. Zinoviev back near the line. Puck went to Varyanov. He couldn't control it out at center ice. There's Zinoviev. He's checked on the play. And Chudinov behind his own net, clearing it up along the boards. That puck went off the stick of Zinoviev. And behind the net again, there's going to be a penalty called for holding deep inside the Soviet zone. And the Edmonton Oilers are going to go on the power play. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Chudinov off for holding at 1:38 on Greg Adams.
Well, this is kind of what most coaches would call a bad penalty by Chudinov. As he goes in, Adams wasn't in the scoring position. All he had to do was get between him and the net, but he just reached over and pulled him down.
On the face-off, Selyanin clears it down the ice. Huddy's got it deep in his own zone. Number 22 for the Oilers. Checking on the play is Yashin. He leaves it off, and for Edmonton, Tикканен out at center ice. The lead pass intended for Messier goes by everybody. And icing is called as Seljanen reaches for it. There's Glenn Sather.
Glenn Sather, one of those coaches that you either love him or you don't like him. But we're a personal guy. He's a wheeler dealer, and he's really been in the midst of controversy this year with Wayne Gretzky moving on to Los Angeles. It's been tough on him. It's been tough on the team. He feels that the team is starting to come together now, and it's probably a great time. You got over half the season left, and you want to be kind of flying. There's a guy that he's been looking to and hoping that breaks out, regains that confidence, scoring touch, that dominance that he has been known for in the past. Mark Messier.
Very intimidating guy is Messier, but not playing well. He's had a suspension. He's had injuries. Going to get his act together shortly. Kuri gets the puck at center ice. Ahead for Messier. Messier ducks around the defense. Got right around Durden, but then was chased. Stopped. Huddy with a shot. Glove save on a screen shot. Gets cool.
Well, Lanny McDonald said it last night. He said the book on this guy was he can't catch, but he said after the first period he can catch with the best of them. Once a good pass by Mark Messier, threading the needle to Charlie Huddy. Watch the left glove of the young Herbert.
That's it.
Now that puck is labeled.
Quality shot, quality save. Well, we got a good look at him yesterday. Nothing seems to have changed. On the face-off, Messier took a shot that just grazed the outside of the net. It's cleared all the way down the ice. Huddy going after it. In there, forechecking is Semyonov, number 31. Huddy leaves it. Tикканен. Huddy ahead for Messier. Takes it off the boards. Tried to flip it over the line. He was tied up on the play. The Soviets come right back. That's offside. As they hit the line, Smirnov carrying the puck to the player already trapped inside the blue line.
Well, one of the reasons you can tell a well-coached hockey club and a club that's not well-coached. There's Alexander Smirnov, great Russian name according to Terry Crisp last night. But a well-coached team, when they're killing a penalty, very rarely do you see them ever get beat by a pass deep in the other team's end. If you watch this Soviet team, the Riga team, they will wheel off. They will not get beat by that pass deep in the Edmonton end.
51 seconds left in the power play for Edmonton. Huddy. No score in this game. Leaves it for Tикканен. Tикканen at center ice, stops up. Now a rink-wide pass for Messier. Messier in front of the net, and Kuri couldn't hold it. He was being checked from behind. Good job there by Semyonov. And the puck is cleared out to center ice. Semyonov hooked his stick, I think, just at the last instant. Kuri now going in. Checking on him is Seljanen. Around the boards it comes. Pinching in is Smith. Smith going in deep, but Seljanen is there. Now it's cleared in front. That's deflected out of harm's way, and Yashin comes out. Yashin over the line. He's got Belyovsky with him. Yashin in deep, but he took a backhand shot, and Brett Fuhr was right there. You see another goaltender's game here tonight.
Well, there's got one young guy at one end, and his person that he thinks was somebody who would involve himself after, hasn't seen him a lot, was Grant Fuhr, who come up with a big save on Yashin right there.
Over the line, here's another chance. That's a blast that's taken wide of the net by Greg Adams. Adams gets it again behind the net, tries to clear it to Smith, who collects it near the line and chops it into the corner. Anderson's there. Puck is left, move it out near the line. McTavish was unable to keep control, but now gets it again. McTavish clearing it in front, went behind everybody. Kersh going to the far boards, but pinching in for the Oilers was Bukbegger, and it's cleared into the corner. Adams trying to move it up along the boards with McTavish there. And it's the Soviets who come out, and they were unable to really get rolling. Akulina now leaves it. And the Soviets are over the line. Getting set is Akulina. Rolls it in front of the net once again. And the Oilers just clear it down the ice to take the pressure off and make a change. And the Soviets will start to move. Out of his own zone comes Chudinov, forced back by the forechecking of Anderson. Zinovьев ahead, off the boards, pass intended for Zanarik, roll right into the crease, and it's called on the icing. We'll take a break. No score in the hockey game. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV.
Oh, look at Mark Messier getting his style back. Watch in front of the net here as he's got the puck. Here comes the one to Kuri. And a great back checking by the job of Semyonov as he came back and just did a little hook on Yeri Kuri. Got his hands so he couldn't take that pass very cleanly.
That's the little things that win hockey games, or keep you in hockey games. Here's Lowe. Lowe getting set. That one's blocked by Zanarik right near the front of the net. Edmonton again, controlling it. Cleared behind the net by Issel. One of the young players for the Oilers. And out comes Riga. Shashov clearing it down into the Oilers zone. Issel turning with it in his own zone. Out they come with Keith Acton clearing it rink wide. He's working with a couple of kids, Issel and May, who are just up from the minor leagues. And you look at Vladimir Shashov from Dynamo Moscow. Third year at Riga, actually started his career with Moscow Dynamo. And his third year with Riga.
He's a pretty solid guy at 5'11", 212.
Back in 1980, he played in the World Junior Championship against Jari Kuri, among others, in Open Lube. Kuri was playing for Finland. Huddy clearing it in. Aren't too many of these players that have had any international experience at all, even World Junior play. Out of center right. They play pretty well. Over the line now. Trying to get sent deep as Hextz rolls it in front of the net. There's nobody there as it came off Tikkannen's leg. Kuri circles inside the zone and then clears it all the way down the ice. Backboard as Seljanen touches it. Icing will be called here. 5 minutes and 42 seconds gone in the first period. No score. The Soviets are out shooting the Oilers 3-1, and they're playing very close to the best right now as you look at Andrei Seljanen from the team they call Kimik, from a town called Voskresensk, which is about 100 kilometers from Moscow. And this one of the sensational teams, but the team has done very well and surprisingly well in the Soviet League this year. They picked up a couple of their players to help bolster this team from Riga. On the face-off, Kersh up against the boards. He flipped it past Chris Joseph, who's checking on him. Huddy picks it up. Huddy ahead. And Tikanen at center ice, a bouncing puck to deal with, and it's knocked out of midair. And back to get it is Joseph. Joseph unloading to Huddy. Huddy a rink-wide pass. Backhanded off the boards by Kuri. Carson can't reach it. Comes back to the defense. Joseph to Tikanen. Tikanen circling back. Not going anywhere. Moving the puck very well, though. Now it's Huddy to Joseph to Huddy. And up through center ice for Tikanen. Tikanen ahead for Carson, who couldn't knock it down. Little move there by Irbay to poke it out of the way. And the Soviets take over once again. Kersh at his own line. A couple of good moves on Kuri. Kersh still with that puck, and he's knocked over. Puck comes right back again. Carson can't get past the line. And again the Soviets. Continuing that checking pattern we saw last night as Belyavsky shoots it in. Pure leaves it for Smith. Cleared to center ice. Bukberger unable to control it. Back in his own zone is Glenn Anderson. Behind his own net. Anderson beating off to the wing. Gives it to Messier now. He's in full flight. Messier through center ice. Anderson with Bukberger. Anderson behind the net being checked. The puck bounces out in front. And the Soviets again take control as Semyonov picks it up. Semyonov. Out at center ice it comes. Yashin. And it was a good hit at the line by Bukbegum, but it was Bukbegum who took the brunt of that blow. Now Seljanen back in his own zone. Body's starting to fly a little bit here. And another check. That one on Lomackin. Out at center ice once again. Semyonov trying to battle for it. Lomackin cuts across ice. He's being checked very closely by Maktavish. Over on this side now. They shoot it up to center ice. Semyonov's over the line. He drops it in Italy. There's the shot. And it was blocked at the line. Yashin took that shot. Round behind the net it goes. Craig Muni up against the boards. Ahead for Anderson. Anderson intended for Maktavish, but it was too far ahead of him. And the puck is back out at center ice, and the Soviets turn. Good action here. Lomackin coming through center ice. Takes the shot, and it's deflected wide off the blocker of Brad Fuhr. Again, out at center ice. Kevin Lowe to Maktavish. Over the line they come once again. There's a shot on the short side. That one taken by Kevin McClellan. Again, the Oilers buzzing around a little bit. Circling with that puck is Maktavish. Maktavish shoots it through a screen, hit the side of the net. And again the Soviets up against the boards. Good forechecking by the Oilers. It's cleared out to center ice. Back in his own zone, Kevin Lowe. Pass away to Muni, out to center ice. Number 7 is Chudinov for Dinamo. He clears it off the boards. They come right back in again. Maryanov thought the better of that one and just unloaded before he was unloaded on.
Kevin Lowe, he knew the Soviet player bailed out, but he just kept going and hit the other Soviet player. He's not going to get somebody at some time.
Well, no score, some good action. The players get a hand. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Well, some heavy hitting going on, Brad.
Well, it took them about 8 minutes and 4 seconds to develop a little bit of dislike for them. G.Anderson taking one on the boards. But watch right here at the blue line. You got a guy lined up, but if he's got more momentum and the same weight, he's going to go right through you. And that was a classic case right there.
Face off deep in the Riga end. May will come in now to take the draw against Vitolinьш, who was a draft choice of the Montreal Canadiens last year. How they scouted him, I don't know. They obviously were pounding the bushes a little bit to get this youngster. Huddy takes the shot. That was wide of the net. Gomanis. Center ice ahead. Channels through the line. Keith Acton collects it. Gets it back out at center ice. Issel tried to clear it over the line. And again, it's blocked at the defense. Now, ahead come the Oilers with Chris Joseph carrying. Gets it in there. There's a shot right up on the chest protector of Bay. That one taken by Charlie Huddy. It rolls into the goal mouth area once again. Soviets battling along the boards. Out they come once again. At center ice, leading the rush for the Soviets is Hextz. Hextz trying to get set, got a shot away, but Huddy had deflected that and taken the velocity away from her. It was easily handled by Grant Fuhr. Holds on for a face-off deep in the Edmonton zone. Well, that is Einar Hextz, who is a Latvian, plays on an all-Latvian line. Big fella, 6'4", 181 pounds, and just 20 years of age. And he looks to me like he's got a bit of talent.
Well, they have 5 Latvians on the team, and it's probably a drawing card in Riga, because being the Republic of Latvia, but that's a young line right there, and they're looking for that line to kind of grow together and develop together and be a major force in the Soviet League.
On the face-off down into the Soviet zone, Bay had a little trouble handling that one. Behind the net now, Messier. Messier put it right past Anderson. And out comes Riga with Valyovsky. Valyovsky clearing it on this side. And it's all the way down into the Edmonton zone. And back to touch it on the icing is Messier. And we'll come back down into the Soviet end. So the game has this very similar pattern to what happened in the game in Calgary last night. Slow, a lot of whistles early on in the game, and then suddenly it started to open up, and things got pretty exciting. There's S.Smit, who's become an excellent defenseman. He is one of those guys that is quite capable of being an all-star.
Well, he's a big, steady guy out there. As a matter of fact, Teddy Green is very, very in favor that he has got a great defense. And we had a conversation about that today.
Rather loud one, may I say.
Well, it wasn't that loud. Teddy Green is...
For a couple ex-Bruins, you know.
That's right. But S.Smit has really developed over the years. He's what they call a guy that matures into a good, steady defenseman. And 90% of the time, he's always going to do the right thing with the puck. He's not going to go end-to-end. But defensively and move the puck to the forwards, he's experienced and does a great job for Edmonton.
Well, here's Hextz now coming out for Riga. Clearing it ahead. Good check at the line on Valyovsky. Knocked him by. And it's cleared out and brought back in again offside. Well, the bodies are flying here tonight.
S.Smit putting a great check on Valyovsky, and that's a sign of an experienced defenseman, because S.Smit, as he's picking up the guy skating without the puck, so that when the puck gets to them, the Valyovsky's going to get the puck and he's going to get S.Smit at the same time. And that's an experienced defenseman. An inexperienced defenseman will wait and let the guy get the puck and then says, geez, now maybe I should check him. Where an experienced guy is moving on the people without the puck in through the center ice. Containing them is the word they use.
Kevin Lowe from the face-off. Center ice, Carson trying to find some room in there, and he wound up stick handling it right offside. Lowe gets it again to Carson. Now over the line, Curry got a bit of room. Now here's a shot by Tикканен that deflects wide. And the Soviets will bring it out now. At center ice, it's cleared all the way down the ice. And back to get it will be Muni. No icing on the play. They say that Muni could have played that puck. Lowe gets it. Tикканен. Tикканен in his blue line. Forced to stop up. Then drops the puck off. Gets a return pass. Tикканен then clearing it into the corner. After it back there is Chudinov. Chudinov had some problems with it against the forechecking of Kuri and Tикканен. Kuri jamming up against the boards. Tикканен is then there. Also Chudinov for Riga. Coming away with it is Kuri. Kuri to Tикканен, to Carson. Out to the blue line and out at center ice again. This is a 2-on-1. Over the line now. Semyonov, and a great job by Muni in bottling that one up. So Muni plays the middle and does a good job, but a penalty has been called. Still no score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Well, Kevin Lowe is the one that got trapped on the 2-on-1, tried to make up for it and put the clutch on one of the two players.
He did. Look at the bottom lower left scoring. It could have been a 3-on-1 if Kevin Lowe didn't do that, but Craig Muni did a great job backing up and playing the pass and staying in the middle, but a very heads-up poised play.
On the face-off, Soviets on the power play for the first time. There's a shot wide of the net. Moving in is Zinoviev, but he couldn't control it against the checking of Messier. That's cleared back into the Soviet zone. Some problems with the puck by Chudinov. Now the Soviets with Zanarek clearing it off the boards. All the way around the boards for Messier. Messier is checked by Varyanov. Out in front, shot is blocked at the defense. Soviets maintain possession as Zinoviev's got it. Fighting off a check, clears it in. Now, Varyanov. Varyanov, number 12, shoots it through a screen, but wide of the net. On the far side, Zinoviev. Zinoviev, there's the shot right on. That one taken by Chudinov. Rebound, shot wide, and it's cleared down the ice. Once again, they'll regroup as Zinoviev shooting it in. In front of the net now, here's a great chance for Shashov, but he was forced wide on the play. Now the shot right on. Good shot, Durden, and a good save by Pure. Pass intercepted by Tикканен to Kuri at center ice to Tикканен. Tикkanen's over the line, gets set, the shot, and the save. Good save at the other end by Urbay. Good action, Zinoviev. Zinoviev. They're to an open wing out at center ice. It's Akulinen. Over the line, Hechts. That's cleared to the center line and no further. Now collecting it is Durden inside his own zone. It comes out to center ice. A little scrambly as Muni clears it in. And Oilers will make a change as the Soviets come out. Here they come over the line now. A nice little play made just inside the line there by Valyavsky. 8 seconds remaining in the penalty now as the puck comes to Kuri. Kuri clears it to center ice. Acton had to go right by him, and he is hauled down by Durden, and no penalty on the play. So, offside as it came out, went back in again. 13 minutes, 49 seconds gone in the first period. Still no score in the hockey game.
Here's a look at Keith Acton making looks like he gets hauled down, but Durden really had two hands on his stick. I'm going to think he was trying to draw a penalty. He knew he couldn't get to the play because Urbay was coming out to play, but right? There's no way I think that was a good call or good non-call by the referee tonight. There's a look at Durden. He's the most experienced defenseman. He's 32 years old, and he's been one of their best defensemen all year long for the Riga team.
Used to take a lot of penalties, did Durden. As age creeps up, one does settle down, I guess.
In his youth, those youth players.
Well, youth. Now that he's 32 years of age, they set some sort of an example, I guess. Puck is hoisted into the zone. Turning with it is Yashin. He's checked on the play, still inside the zone. Turning is Kevin McClellan, but he's checked on the play, and out they come again. Third ahead, Semyonov. Clearing it in, the pass was intended for Yashin. He couldn't reach it. Back out near the blue line is chipped along the boards. Lomackin moving in. Lomackin didn't play the game the other night, or last night in Calgary. He was bothered by an injury. Well, he was fit enough to try tonight. Here's Huddy moving in now. Huddy with a good move now, moves in, throws it in front, and there's a shot from close in by Greg Adams. And the puck was deflected wide of the net. I do believe that Hervé got a piece of it. And it's called on the icing. We'll have a face-off inside the Riga zone. Still no score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Hockey may be intense, but it does have its moments too, Brad.
Watch this save. Great play by Huddy. And in front of the net, watch Adams come right down on Hervé on his head. Now watch as he gets up here. Hervé just says, hey, nice to meet you. That's a great disposition for a goaltender. I'm not going to take it personal.
Name of the game is crash the goaltender if you can. And get away with it. Some goaltenders I know wouldn't be patting, they'd be swinging that stick and yelling. Center ice now over the line, trying to get loose as Hechts. He doesn't get far, but Tomanis is in there deep now, fighting off a check one-handed, throws it in front. There's a quick shot as he was checked, seemingly Vitolinьš. But he just simply got a shot away, but it was wide of the net with it. He was tied up completely in the high slot area. Now the puck is cleared out to center ice again, Vitolinьš. Back to Frolov. Frolov clears it just inside the line, and the Oilers come right back out with Chris Joseph clearing it in. To get it is Frolov. Checked by Messier. There's a quick shot taken near the line by Alan May. Very close checking going on. Not really much room again to move in this hockey game. I think after watching last night, I think most of the Oilers did watch last night. They know exactly what they were going to be in for here tonight. Bukberger, at least along the boards, that's Tomanis clearing it out to center ice now. They break down over the line. There's a hard shot by Vitolynch. That's what the Montreal Canadiens liked about this kid, I think, when they drafted him. That was a good shot and a good save by Fuhr.
Well, Fuhr was kind of between a rock and a hard place because he had Keith Atkins playing defense, backed in and gave him that good shot.
Zinovic taking a shot that went off the leg of S.Smit. Messier on the far boards. Ducks away from a check, gets a pass away. Bukberger turning with it. Here he comes to center ice. Clearing it ahead, past Anderson all the way into the zone. Hervé clears it ahead. And out of center ice again. Shashov. The line, backhands it, couldn't get a man in the slot area. It was a little slow getting there was Zinovic. He was tied up on the play. That is out of center ice once again. Bukberger to the line with Messier. Drops to Messier. Messier gets some room, throws it in front, and in front there was S.Smit as he pinched in. He just didn't get a clean shot at it. Now in the corner, Mariano out to Smith at center ice. They'll regroup out there now as Bukabu clears it right back in again. Around the net, Chudinov. Chudinov trying to fight off a check at center ice, and Jimmy Carson steals the puck. Carson, as the Oilers make a change, gives it to Tикканен. Tикканен shooting it in. Derch is behind his own net. Flips it into the corner. There's nobody there. Back out to the blue line. That's Chris Joseph taking a shot. He scores! May have deflected in front of the net. Joseph took the shot from the blue line. 1-0 Edmonton.
Gary Curry redirecting the shot by Chris Joseph in behind the goaltender Hervé. Watch this here. Watch to the left of your screen now. You're going to see Yuri Cross in front. Here's the shot. There's the redeflection through his legs and catches the far post just inside. You're going to get a lower look at it now. Watch here. You're going to see Curry come in here. Watch the redeflection through his legs. Actually went off his skate. Not too much that the young goaltender Hervé could do. A great redirection by Gary Curry.
Well, you have to work to get them by Hervé, and good deflection. 1-0. Huddy at center ice now. Working up, tries to hit the line with it. It's offside. There'll be a delay on that, and as the checking goes on inside the blue line, it's called for a face-off. 1-0 Edmonton leading on a goal by that man, Jari Kurri. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. The goal, Kurri from Joseph and Tикканен at 17:29.
Here's the shot. Watch the left skate of Jari Kurri, just redirected from almost an impossible angle. And the Edmonton Oilers are up 1-0.
Joseph back to get it deep in his own zone, but it was cleared from deep in the Riga zone, so we'll get the icing call. There's young Chris Joseph. Over from the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the many deals that were made for a couple of the Oilers stars.
Well, that was the deal for Paul Coffey. This was the kind of the unknown factor in that deal. The Edmonton Oilers got Craig Simpson, but I believe there's a lot of scouting going on when they were talking in this deal, and the Edmonton scouts were around looking at all the players in the Pittsburgh organization. They thought this guy had real terrific potential. He's a very young guy.
Tикканен takes a shot that's blocked at the defense. Huddy throws it in against the boards for Curry. Curry to Tикканен. The shot is wide. Those two guys move the puck around a lot and very well. Tикканен back near his own blue line now. Ahead. Curry trying to get it back to Tикканen. It's intercepted. Semyonov clearing it back into his own zone. Zanarik is back there. It's called once again. So we'll get a face-off in the Riga end of the ice. 1-0 Edmonton. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. 5'7", 179 pounds. Very, very strong, though. We were watching him when he was in his civvies after the game last night. Big, broad shoulders. Obviously, very good shape. Shot from the point by Muni.
The one thing also when he was giving his interview last night, Ron, you know, he wasn't a big guy, but he was well built, stocky, and he had a big set of mitts on him. He had big hands for, you know, you think of a guy, where does he get the strength? He handles his goal stick very, very well. Today I was down watching him skate this morning. At the end of practice, he went around and he was shooting the puck off the glass and off the boards down in the end he's in now to see what kind of bounces he was going to get. Very studious guy.
Yeah. Looks after business, as they say. Low up along the boards in the Oiler end to Kevin McClellan up to center ice now. Mactavish. Mactavish hits the line, stops up, then feeds it deep into the zone. That's Kevin McClellan. Also in there is Craig Mactavish forechecking. McClellan's number 24, Mactavish 14. And also deep in the zone is Yashin, number 35, trying to get out of his own zone and having a great deal of difficulty against the forechecking. There's Dirk. He takes his man out. Lomackin then brings it out. Less than a minute remaining in the period now. Unloads a pass at center ice for Semyonov. Semyonov drops it. Here's a chance for Yashin. Yashin still with that puck. He's hauled down. There's going to be at least one penalty, and there could be two here. A hooking call has been made by referee Bob Hall. I don't know which one it was. There was a penalty in the center ice zone and another one deep inside the zone.
Well, he's, yeah, I think we've got Craig McTavish has gone to the penalty box, but he's got the first infraction and not the second infraction. There's the McTavish getting up with the blue line, but this is the one he called, but he gave it to McTavish right there. For a minute there, I thought he was in the Calgary Corral. Boy, I tell you, McTavish just hauled down the Soviet player just outside the blue line, and then right in front of the net, Kevin Lowe put the hook on Lomackin, who was going in for a shot.
Well, it was a dangerous rush, and that's a
look at, I told you he had it wrong. Now Lowe's going in. McTavish thought he had the penalty. There's an honest hockey player. He thought he had the penalty at center ice, and he did, but he called Kevin Lowe in front of the net.
Zanarik will take the draw here against Mark Messier from the faceoff back near the line now. Keeping it in there is Seljanin, clearing it behind the net. Steve Smith picks it up, clears to the point. Can't get it out. Flipped along the boards again. Smith had to unload that puck into the corner behind the net to one of his mates, but he's checked on the play. Zanarik doing a good job shielding the puck. Gets it back out to the blue line now. Seljanin, the shot. It's gloved by Grant Fury. Looking pretty sharp tonight. And he holds on for the face-off.
Right in front of that net, Big Jeff Buckelbaum and Steve Smith. Grant Fuhr had no problem getting a bird's eye view of that shot coming in. Look to the right of your screen. Grant Fuhr is there. Nobody gets in front of that shot. Nobody can deflect it. And you're not going to beat Grant Fuhr from the blue line. There is no way. Well, maybe on a bad practice, but I haven't seen him get beat from the game in a game very often.
A couple of 11s out there to take the draw. Messier and Zanarik.
Last night, Ron, Riga was 1 for 6 on the power play, and the reason they got the goal was basically Joey Mullen had broken his stick. By the time Calgary had made the change, the Riga team had come back up and got a real good scoring opportunity. But throughout the whole game against Calgary, they did not really produce well or move the puck well on the power play.
Here's Zanarik moving in now. Shot right on. He masked the passing play and then let the shot go. Now puck is cleared down the ice. Keith Acton racing after it as the siren goes to end the first period. Dynamo Riga outshot the Oilers 10-7 in the period. But the Oilers on a goal by Kuri from Joseph of Tикканен at 17:29 have a 1-0 lead in the game. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series.
They got hit by S.Smit. S.Smit had a little elbow in there, rearranged his nose, but he's ready for the second period.
First thing that was mentioned after the game was over last night in Calgary is how, he used to be able to perhaps intimidate the Soviet players. As we take a look at Kevin Lowe sitting in the penalty box, he's got 1:19 to go in his penalty. But you don't intimidate them anymore. They play a tough game over there, and they'll play just as tough over here.
And they've developed some size. In 72, a lot of the players were 5'9", 5'10", but they're starting to develop some size to go along with that skill that they have.
Now Riga on the power play now, trying to get out of their own end. That's Durden, number 10. Up through center ice, over the line it comes to Belyovsky, who shoots it in. Down behind the net, trying to dig it loose is Messier. And it's chopped out to center ice. Back to get it will be Frolov. Gets it from Bay. Frolov up on the right side, clears it ahead. That was Kertz who tried to relay that pass. Stopped on the play. Durden gets it again. Frolov ahead. Aquilina is over the line. Aquilina looking for a man now. Puts it into the slot area and it's poked away and chopped down the ice once again. Hey, guys, really playing a good game here tonight has been Messier so far.
Messier's been very, very strong out there. He has the speed and the strength. He is probably a real bull out there. One player that the Soviets know about, and they're on the lookout for him. They know what he can do physically, and they know what he can do finesse-wise.
At center ice, Zanarak unable to get loose, and the penalty has just about expired. 9 seconds left. It's cleared down the ice, and back to get it for the Soviets will be Zinoviev. Zinoviev ahead. Turning with it along the boards is Shashov. Now it is Varyanov. And here we go. Out to center ice. Varyanov relayed it, but all he did was get it down to an Edmonton player at the blue line. The Oilers take over. At center ice, Jari Kuri. Kuri with Carson. Pass went right by Carson and is cleared by Bay out to center ice once again. Charlie Huddy out there taking a bit of a wrap along the boards. And again, the Soviets with Zanarak. That's Chudinov out there for Shashov. Bouncing puck that's gloved by Fjord. And he leaves it at the blue line for Huddy. Still in the center ice zone. Coming right back in now as that big line is out there with Yashin. Yashin getting set. There's the shot right on. Yashin with a good move inside the line. Let the shot go, but it was right at goaltender Grant Fjord. Backboard. Deep in his own zone. Smирнов moves it out to center ice now. Over the line comes Semyonov. Semyonov tied up on the play, and as he's ridden down towards the goal, they take the net off its moorings, and the whistle goes. As you look at Semyonov, who plays with Moscow and Dynamo. Final score, Hartford and Quebec playing to a 4-4 tie. A newcomer, Norm McIver, having a good night there with a couple of points. Buffalo beat Detroit 4-1. That was in Buffalo. And in the second period, Chicago leading Minnesota 1-0. And in the third period, St. Louis leading Winnipeg 3-1. And here at the Northlands Coliseum, the Oilers won, Dynamo Riga 0. Grant Fjord in goal for the Oilers. They haven't been able to get to him yet. Here's the shot. That's just deflected wide, and floating around in front of that net was Semyonov. But Fjord alertly took it off the back boards and hung on.
Well, Semyonov just sneaking by Kevin Lowe, getting to the front of the net, but the point shot was to the right of Grant Fjord, and Semyonov went past it. By the time it came off the boards, it was watch here, Kevin Lowe, and I watch here as Semyonov gets by him. And excuse me, it was not Kevin Lowe that he got by, but he had come off the boards on the left side. So my apologies to Kevin Lowe. Sorry, Kevin.
Semyonov taking the draw, but the puck comes back to Fjord. Taken around the net by Craig Muni. Out of center ice, Jimmy Carson. Carson working on a line now with Messier. Carson in deep, turning. It's banged off the boards, off a skate. Muni at the point. Ahead now. They try to feed that puck ahead for Yashin, who is unable to get it from Lomackin. And again, the Oilers turn. Back they come. Bukbергger moving into forecheck as the puck is cleared along the boards by Yashin. At the side of the net, here's Selyanin. Selyanin gets the pass away. Semyonov now down over the line. Puck is cleared. Yashin shoots it right on. The rebound loose at the side of the net. And right there to take control is Craig Muni. Gets it over for Kevin Lowe, who got upended as he let that pass go. A little bit of a hook under the skates. But the Oilers come right back over the line now. Anderson dropping it. Bukberger getting set in front of the net, but he was checked from behind. Good check coming from behind by Durden. Out at center ice. Players hauled down in the center ice zone. Bodies are starting to fly again. Smith hitting the line. It's knocked right back out to center ice by Vitolinch. In deep to get it is Hextz in his own zone. Good hard contact going on in there. Tomatis is in. But it's the Oilers who bring it out. Tomatis lost his stick, heads for the bench. And once again, the Dynamo Riga team taking over at its own blue line. Kerch. Moving it ahead, fighting off a check there is Hextz. Behind the net for the Oilers. S.Smith just leaving it there. Now it's cleared up along the boards, and Kim Issel's got it. His pass was intercepted in the center ice zone by Aquilina. In his own zone, Bukaboom. Ahead for Issel. He stopped on the play. Puck rolls loose in the center ice zone. And it's Chudinov. Clearing it to an open wing. Chudinov gets it again back in his own zone. Ahead for Kerch, who was off balance as he received that pass and went right by him and down inside the zone for Bukaboom. Bukaboom starting out at center ice. The pass away over the line now. Keith Acton up against the board, stops, throws it in front. There's a quick shot taken by Smith. Smith's in there deep, pinched in, thrown in front, and Tикканен couldn't reach it. Way out of his net now is Fuhr, and he clears it off the boards to center ice. Irbe couldn't have done it better. Through a roar from the crowd as the Soviets again will try to go on the attack. Over the far boards, Maryanov, but he's checked by Tикканен. Tикканen unloads a pass for Smith. Smith at center ice, partially fanned on that pass. Shashov then shoots it. Back near the line, Jimmy Carson has checked on the play, but Tikkanen's got it. It's offside as he raced for the net. We played 5:43 here in the second period. Still 1-0 Oilers. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV.
To get the 47 standard features we include in the Dodge Shadow and Plymouth Sundance, our competition would ask you to do a lot of extra shopping. With the Dodge Shadow and Plymouth Sundance, you get it all under one roof. Chrysler, changing the landscape.
Well, they feel that Grant Fuhr may have been overworked last year. Brad, asking Glenn Sather to try and come up with a point where you say a goaltender is getting too much work, but he played well over 100 games, including the Canada Cup last year. I think he may be paying the price for that this year. He doesn't seem to be as sharp early in the season as he might have been.
Well, there's been some big changes in Edmonton. He may be seeing a little bit more rubber, a little bit better quality of shots. And that's one of the reasons that goaltenders, you can ask them to do a lot, but the second, third shots that they can't really control. So, but I think he looks on his game tonight.
There's Joseph going in. He was upended just as he headed for the net. Lenaric's got it. There's a rink-wide pass, digging after it to Shashov. He drops it near the line now, and it bounced over the line, says the linesman. Varyanov brought it back in, and they'll have a face-off. Just as we look there at Nikolai Varyanov, in his second year at Riga, 9 years at Dynamo Moscow before coming to Riga. Back in Montreal in 1978, he played in the Junior World Cup of Hockey against a fellow named Gretzky and Bobby Smith and Brian Walter and a few others. A great team for Canada that couldn't win. Matter of fact, you look down the roster of that team that was in that tournament, and they had home ice and everything else. It's hard to believe they didn't win, considering the people that are in the NHL now. Here's a quick shot. Oh, what a save there by Fuhr. What a terrific save on Lomackin. Fuhr has been very sharp. Joseph turning back inside his own zone. Clears it all the way down the ice. Going back for it will be Frolov behind his own net, and icing will be called there. Grant Fuhr on a very sharp individual named Lomackin, Andre Lomackin.
There's a look at Grant Fuhr. Now watch his left pad as Lomackin drifts to the middle, going to his left. Here's Grant Fuhr picking him up. Now Grant Fuhr's going to start to slide a little bit. He just drops that pad down. A lot of similarities between Grant Fuhr, the way he dropped that pad down, and the young kid at the other end, Hervé. But you know, you can tell when a goaltender's really on or really sharp tonight was when Grant Fuhr came out to the blue line to clear that puck. If he had hesitated at the start, it wouldn't have happened. But he was, boom, he was out of that crease and onto that puck like in a shot.
Shots on goal in this period, 4-1 in favor of Riga. On the face-off once again, Riga trying to control it. Hechts cannot control it, and the puck is slipped by the defense all the way down the ice. Back to get it is Zinovьев. Off the boards and out through center ice, knocked down by Muni out there, and then shoveled back out to center ice by Kevin Lowe. McClellan collecting at the center ice zone. The players rattle each other. Vitolinьš threw a check. There's a shot, steered into the corner again. And Tomatis, and as it's cleared out to center ice, it's whistled dead. We're going to have a penalty called here by referee Bob Hall. We'll get the exact call in just a moment. We take a break. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. His draft choice also knows how to throw a major league elbow.
And he gets, of all people, Kevin McClellan. Now, Kevin McClellan's not a favorite guy in the National Hockey League you'd go an elbow, but the reputations aren't going to mean much in this game.
Puck is cleared down the ice from the face-off, and Steve Smith will go back for it. Oilers on a power play. Smith out there. Also Anderson and Messier and Kурri. And the other point man is Charlie Huddy. Kурri, who gets the puck near his line. Ahead right past Messier and all the way down into the zone of the Dynamo Riga. As for loft touches, it's called on icing.
The Dynamo Riga team is doing a great job of killing the penalty. There's a look at Glenn Anderson. But the Riga team, if you watch them, they're going to let Edmonton do whatever they want out to their blue line. Then their forwards are not going to give them a free ride to the next blue line. And they're not going to make that commitment. Great poise out there that they're not going to get caught or get beaten by a pass. They're going to let the puck carrier come up, and if everybody's ahead of them, everybody has to slow down. They shoot it in. Basically, they're dictating to Edmonton what they want them to do as Edmonton attacks.
Face off to the right of Grant Fuhr. Edmonton power play. Not what it has been. Here comes Messier. Center ice, skating very well here tonight. Gets some room, tries to work in, and then try to feed it back to the point. Failed to do so. Yashin put it right on Glenn Anderson's stick. Back to Joseph. Joseph rink wide. Huddy. Huddy returns to Joseph. On the line. There's Messier. Yashin brushed by him just enough to throw him off balance. Still got it in over the line, and Messier's got it at the far point. Put it right on the stick of Yashin. He clears it in. Seljanen off the boards. Joseph trying to keep it in at the point and does so to Messier. Messier back to Joseph. Joseph to Messier. Messier moving in. There's a shot. The rebound hit the side of the net. That one taken by Bukberger near the goal mouth area. It is cleared down the ice. Fuhr is there. He clears it ahead for Huddy. Huddy over the line offside. Bukberger trying to get a little bit of a jump, and he got too big a jump and was called on it. 30 seconds left in the power play.
A couple of nice saves by young Hervé. First on Messier, then at the side of the net, and he just stood his ground. He's got those big pads on. There's not a lot of room to get the puck through, but he does a great job. Here's the first shot by Messier. Here it comes now. He takes it off the blocker. Then coming out of the corner is Bukberger with a second shot, and he just stood his ground, let the puck hit him. Didn't have to do anything spectacular, but two solid saves.
Here's Varyanov shooting it rink wide and down into the Edmonton zone. Back there is Smith. I'll tell you a little bit about those pads in a moment. Smith center ice. Tикканен unable to control it. It's fed to the wing, unable to get loose there with Shashov. And it's cleared in. 5 seconds left in the power play now. Behind the net. Roloff, backhanding it right down the ice. The player is out of the penalty box and collected the puck on a two-line pass. And so we'll have a face-off. That'll be back inside the Dynamo zone. There are the pads. They are illegal. There's no doubt about it. I've talked to referees. I've talked to everybody. Now, what happens if somewhere along the line Glenn Sather says, I want those pads measured? What would happen? Well, in the rule book, measure them, but you measure them after the game, and a report is sent to the president of the league, who will act upon it. There is no penalty for having illegal pads in the book as far as the game itself is concerned, that particular game. So he can wear them all night long. Nobody's going to say a word.
Very interesting about those pads. Those pads are not square at the top. They're not like a perfect rectangle. They are tapered at the top in order to give him some mobility so his knees don't hit when he's skating and moving out of the net.
There's Mactavish in deep, trying to throw it out in front. That was intended out in front for Kevin McClellan. Went off his chest. And the Soviets. Zanarik over the line. He's got a little room. He dropped it back. And there's a quick shot taken from just inside the line, but well wide. Now out in front, another shot, and that's blocked at the defense's. Muni got in the way. Right through the legs that time of Shashov. Now behind the net, McClellan. He's checked to the ice by Zanarik. Zanarik on his knees trying to control it. Garyanov is in there as well. He's down. Now we got some tough sledding. Behind the net, Kevin Lowe takes a wrap and unloaded the pass, but right onto a Soviet stick. Now Mactavish trying to get set. He throws it out to center ice finally as they clear the zone. Past the midway point here of the second period. 1-0, Edmonton leading. Back deep in his own zone is Zinovьев for Smirnov. Yashin circling with that puck. Still trying to get set. Drops it back. Seljanin got a pass away and then went down. Puck is loose through center ice. They had to let it go. It was a two-line pass. Yashin then let Lowe pick it up, tried to go after him, but Lowe was able to clear the puck. Now moving it over the line, and Jordan took that pass outside the line and then stepped in offside. Another face-off. 10 minutes and 50 seconds gone in the second period. Oilers leading 1-0. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Yusino of the Dynamo Riga team, an assistant coach with their national and Olympic team behind Viktor Tикканен as well. Different kind of coach, Brad. Friendlier, much closer to his players. Great teacher. I think Tикканен relies on emotion. Drives his players much harder.
Well, I think Tикканen's probably a little more of a hard line. This gentleman almost looks like a little bit of a father figure. You know, there's a little twinkle in his eye when he's behind that bench.
Here's Kirch with a shot. He hooked it wide of the net. Durden moves in after it, but it's flipped out to center ice by Jimmy Carson. Roll off. Aquilina couldn't control it. May moves in after it. Durden is checked. Roll off. Ahead. Aquilina out to center ice. Kirch knocked that down, but couldn't control it. Kirch then does get a semblance of control and a pass away to Durden. Durden moving up on a pass from Aquilina. Steps inside the line and shoots it in there. Bounces off the glass, off the stick of Grant Fuhr. Now Kirch circling in the corner. Let's find a man. Still up to that puck. They roll it in front. There's a quick shot. That one taken right at the side of the net from a bad angle by Alexander Belyovsky. Now Kirch with a good move, but then he's knocked to the ice. Lost balance on the first move and then was flattened. It came in. Now out at center ice. Moving in over the line. That's Acton. Acton circling the net now, and he's taken out of the play by Durden. Inside the zone, cleared out in front. Issel got a shot away. He was partially checked on the play. And here we come once again. At center ice, Vitolinch tried to drop that off. He did, and Hextz was right in the traffic and got nailed for it. Now at center ice, there's going to be a penalty, I believe, to Hextz for hooking. So Hextz will go, and the Oilers will go on the power play. They lead it 1-0. This is the NHL. Well, there's the young Latvian Einar Hextz in the penalty box, hooking the call at 12:27. 5 minor penalties called in this game.
Here's the hook on Glenn Anderson. He was a little upset. He'd just taken a hit from Jeff Bukaboom before that play, and he was kind of trying to catch Anderson. He was a little upset at the hit he just took. And he just put the stick on it, put it on a little too low, and Anderson went right down.
Well, there's been a fair amount of hitting in this game. We had 5 minor penalties, Brad. Not a chippy game. It's just been sticks have been down.
There's been a little bit of rough stuff, but we really haven't had a lot of calls. So.
Well, the rough stuff has been the day-to-day stuff that you expect in the game of hockey without going too far outside of the rule book. We look there at Sergei Chudinov from Chelyabinsk. It's in Siberia, on the way to Riga on the Baltic Sea.
Really, the Riga defense has not really been known for gaining a lot of points. They're very steady, very all-sound defensemen. If they have one thing that's lacking is they don't have anybody like a Fetisov that is going to go out and do some dominant playmaking for them, move up and really assist the forwards. But as far as playing steady hockey, they are doing that.
Well, they expect a lot of that from number 10 on their defense, Jordan. Jordan's a former forward, but he's got enough problems worrying about his defensive play. Smith took it right through his legs. Tикканен back out now. Minute 21 remaining in the penalty to the Soviets. That's Kuri. Kuri ahead. Good move by Messier. Messier moving in, having trouble under the checking. And it's flipped back out to center ice by Semyonov. Tикканен will go back for it. Tикканen at center ice. Smith ahead for Anderson to Kuri. Kuri getting set. Shots wide of the net. Now Messier on the far boards. He's checked by Semyonov. Still inside the zone. Smith tried to clear it past a pileup of players in there. Now Messier muscles it into the corner. Back there is Selyanin along with Messier. Messier comes up with it. Gives to Kuri to Tикканен. Tикканen, great move. Takes the shot. And I think that was deflected wide of the net by goaltender Irbe. Now behind the net, Messier. Messier getting that pass from Anderson. Messier just parked there. Anderson trying to get loose in front of the net. Out to Smith. Smith's shot right on. Rebound. Cleared away to the boards by the defense. As parked right at the goal mouth was Tикканен. Tикканen will chase it back into his own zone. 20 seconds left with the power play as it's cleared out to center ice. Here's Kuri. Kuri to the line. Tried to get it to McClellan, but it was deflected away by the defense. Maryanov getting his stick on it. Akulinen checking on the far side. Huddy gets a flip pass, gets it over the line, and is taken out of the play by Frolov. Now Maktavish going in against the boards. Durden moves in as well. Maktavish comes up with the puck, clears it out to the point. Here's Huddy, and his shot went off a leg, and out come the Soviets. Over the line now comes Belyavsky, and diving is Huddy. Good play. Took him right off the puck enough to make the shot miss. Now here come the Oilers. 3-on-2. McClellan's shot is deflected by Durden, who got in the way. And it's called on the offside in any case. Some good action as the penalty came to an end. The Oilers lead 1-0 with 5:13 left in the second period. This is the NHL manager in the NHL, and they won't let him quit. How can you let a guy quit who's winning the cups he's won 4 of the last 5 years? And he's got the kind of a team that could win it again this year. People in Calgary won't like to hear that. Or in LA, I guess. So they think they might have a shot too. Maktavish. McClellan jammed up against the boards. Maryanov held in there, and we'll have a face-off. Number 24 there is Kevin McClellan. We're going to get a penalty, I believe, to McClellan. All that wrestling up against the boards, and we'll take a break. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Zinovьев and Adams. Adams going off for interference. Zinovьев for slashing. All of that action up against the boards. Got pretty intense in there. There's the, well, yeah, right out in front. That's what happened. So.
All that ice service, you just can't find any room out there tonight, Ron. Coincidental penalties for the teams will skate even strength.
That rule does not exist in international hockey, but we play international or National Hockey League rules in this series. The coincidental minor rule, the Edmonton Oilers rule, as it were. Here's Acton trying to get sent in front of the net. Good hip check there. As puck is cleared behind the net. Irbe is there. There's battle behind the net. It's kicked free, but it is the Soviets who come up with it, and they bring it to center ice. Frolov clearing it to the line. Unable to get through is Shashov. Frolov throwing a check up against the boards on the Oilers' Kim Issel. Winds up behind the Oilers' net. Kevin Lowe starting out. Shoveled off the boards to Acton to May. Turning is, and back in over the line is Zarnok. Here's a quick shot right up on the chest protector. Taken by Varyanov. Again, they hold on.
Grant Pierce had to make some very strong saves tonight, but he's also been getting some perimeter shots, which is not really a problem for him. We're going to have a look at it right now as the puck comes over to the left side. Now watch Grant Fuhr. This is a perimeter shot. It was up about on the blocker side. And if you'll notice, Grant Fuhr catches with his right hand. There's very few goaltenders in the National Hockey League that are the opposite hand, but he is one. He kind of mixes up the shooters a little bit. You think you're going low on the glove side, it's on his blocker. You think you're going low stick side, and it's on his glove side.
That's Bukeboom with the puck behind his own net. He just leaves it there and then gets a return pass from Bukberger. Bukeboom. On the far side at center ice, S.Smit clearing it in. Anderson going after the puck. Anderson being chased around behind the net by Smирnов. Number 8 cleared into the corner. Messier fighting his way past the check. Bukberger is there behind the net. He's being tied up on the play by Semyonov. Now Messier to Anderson. A real battle going on all the way up the boards. Anderson finally unloads a pass to Messier, but he doesn't get much room, and the Soviets come back. Out at center ice now, Yashin. Gets by one check, gets over the line. Yashin still with that puck, getting a little room as Bukeboom tries to corral him and knocks him down, and they've drawn a penalty. And so Yashin goes down. Bukberger gets the penalty. And we'll take a break with 3:18 left in the period. This is the NHL Soviets. Kelly Bukberger goes off for slashing at 16:42.
Here it is, right behind the net. There's the slash. The referee Bob Hall had his eye on that one. Very hard to miss when you take a big wind-up over your shoulder like that. But Dynamo Riga has really had trouble on the power play. They really haven't been able to move the puck well last night against the Calgary Flames or tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. They've got some good skills out there, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they just don't have enough skilled players to do a good job of it.
On the face-off, Selyanin at the blue line. They got some people out there now that can score and a lot of experience. Been checked pretty well, as is everybody on the ice here, as Messier breaks loose now. This could be a 3-on-1 as he tried to get a pass away. It's blocked at the defense. And then Hervé took the second shot himself and hung on. And Hervé is looking towards his own bench for some reason. I think something to say there to Yashin. Like, don't allow those 3-on-1s. I don't like them.
Well, he has been strong tonight. This was not a difficult save other than the traffic around him. Craig Mactavish here. Here comes a shot, not necessarily a screen, but if he happens to bobble this puck, look at Mactavish right in front of him. And that's the sign. He's got very sure hands. He hasn't really bobbled any shots that have caused any problems.
Akolinen taking the draw. There's the power play situation. We haven't seen a power play goal. There's a quick shot just wide of the net by Messier. Draw one very cleanly there by Mactavish. Now behind the net, Mactavish forechecking. Krylov lost it and got it back again. Now the Soviets being forechecked to death here as they're getting out of their own zone has become a problem here on the power play. Bukeboom back in his own end. Out to center ice, catching up to it, and wound up in the Edmonton bench. Trying to catch up to it was Mactavish. So we're back into the Oilers zone for a face-off with 1:18 left in the penalty to Bukberger.
Ron, one of the interesting things about these two teams, a lot of people don't realize that the equipment that these two teams use, and I really like watching the Edmonton Oilers, in the years when Gretzky was here. One thing that people don't realize is what short sticks the Edmonton Oilers use as a team. They do not use long sticks. The Soviets do not use long sticks. And because of the short sticks, if we ever get a chance to look at like a Curry or a Tикканен or any of the Soviet players, you're going to realize that that short stick is so useful for handling the puck in tight. As soon as you go to a longer stick, you lose control of the puck in around your feet. Both these teams are very, very well coordinated, handling the puck in tight, and I think one of the reasons is the short sticks that they all use.
Zanarek will take the draw for the Soviets, but can't win it. It's Tикканен ahead at center ice for the Oilers. It's Keith Acton getting over the line, trying to clear it rink wide, and it's intercepted, and the whistle goes on the play. Knocked down with a high stick. We'll get a face-off as you look at Varyanov.
I remember one time in training camp, Ron, I was talking to a young rookie defenseman who was coming up, and he had a stick. And his defenseman was no bigger than 6 foot, but he had a stick that was longer than Gordy Kluzak's. And I said to him, I said, why do you use such a long stick like that? He said, well, I need 2 or 3 inches to pick off those passes. I said, well, if you need 2 or 3 inches to pick off a pass, you're out of position. Get some crazy ideas in this game sometimes.
Then you look at a fellow like Bob Gainey, who uses a great big long stick. But his role is somewhat different. He's looking for those sweep checks. Maryanov over the line. Stopped up. 54 seconds remaining in the power play. In the corner, Zanarok now. Getting it back. Maryanov now getting it out to the point that was intended for Chudinov. He couldn't knock it down. And it's Zinoviev. Zinoviev for Maryanov. Out to center ice again. Not much happening on this power play as Kevin Lowe takes over. Lowe then has to chase back into his own zone. Grandfuhr out of the net. Kuri loses it. They keep it inside the zone, but again, a little too slow letting the play form, Brad, and it winds up being checked away.
They're really having a difficult time. The Edmonton Oilers are doing a fine job of killing off this power play. They're letting them move it around the perimeter, and the Soviets are having a very tough time moving it in tight to get those good opportunities.
Lomackin upset as he hit the line. There's going to be a holding penalty. Tикканен get that? Lomackin would hit the line and went flying, and Tикканen a little upset at all of that. 6 seconds left in the other penalty.
Watch Isa Tикканен reach inside here as Lomackin cuts the inside. He grabs him by the hand, and it wasn't as much that he used his strength, but the speed of Lomackin and that little tug on his arm really pulled him down. It's a good call because they happen to be the puck carrier in full stride.
And that little act he went into going into the bench picked him up an extra 2 minutes. Don't make the referees look bad. Asa, you know better than that. No, it's a 2-minute unsportsmanlike to go with the holding penalty. Semyonov, the big line is out there now. Semyonov, Lomackin, and Yashin, all from Moscow Dynamo. Also out there on defense is Selyanin. Selyanin couldn't hold it at the blue line. And out at center ice. Well, one player's back on the ice, but now the Oilers have to kill off almost 4 minutes here. Selyanin behind his own net. Stopped there. Yashin skates right by him and then gets the pass from Selyanin. Yashin at center ice. Semyonov working in over the line with him. Here's Yashin. Yashin, less than a minute remaining in the period now. On behind the net, out in front. It was deflected away. That time Fuhr did a good job. Players knocked to the ice in front of the net. That was Lomackin, and this cleared down the ice. Bay, he'll quickly clear it up. At center ice. Selyanin inside his own zone, gets it ahead now. Semyonov unable to get across the line as he is nailed there by Bukbegger. And at center ice once again, and over the line comes Mactavish, turns with it, backhand shot, he's just wide with that. Soviets with 23 seconds remaining in the period. Working it out to center ice now. Yashin carrying the puck. He hits the line, trying to split through it. He does, and he's hauled down. No penalty on that. Yashin looking for the penalty and didn't get it. Here's the shot. That one taken by Frolov at the blue line. They pile in there again. 3 seconds left. This period is going to end, and the Oilers continue to protect the 1-0 lead that they got back at the 17:29 mark of the first period on a goal by Jari Kuri. Total shots on goal in the hockey game. Not that many through 2 periods. 17-12 favor Dynamo Riga. Here's Yashin. Was he hauled down?
Well, he makes a good dig here, but watch here, the little hook. Smith had given him the hook, didn't pull him down. Then when he released the hook, Yashin went down. Bob Hall, very, very sharp tonight.
All right.
Third period, let's go back upstairs with Ron Roche and Brad Park.
Well, that's a tradition in Soviet hockey. They gather around the goaltender. Artur Irbay, who's played well again tonight, although he hasn't had the work he had in Calgary last night. Had to deal with only 12 shots. He's allowed 1 to go into the net. That one a deflected shot by Jari Kuri. And there's Grandfuhr. didn't know whether he was going to play the whole game or not. He's played well so far, and he's got the shutout going, and I guess the kindly old coach, I guess he won't get mad at me for calling him kindly, has decided to let him protect his shutout.
It's going to be interesting. Talking to Glenn Saylor, we had asked him this morning which goaltender he was going to use. He said, well, I may use both. I said, well, you're going to go with 4 lines. He said, well, we'll see how the game's going. Well, we're in the third period. We're going to see if he's going to go with 4 lines or he's going to go down to 3 and 2. How much he wants to win this hockey game, and that'll tip us off a little bit.
Well, from the face-off, it is cleared offside and low. There's Belyovsky.
He's been a very impressive player, Belyovsky.
Kursinov said he's got the best skills on the hockey club, on his hockey club. He's Riga's top scorer back in the 85-86 season. Had a slow start this year, but as his game has improved, so has that of the team in the league. And I guess that tells you a little bit about Belyovsky.
He also got the big goal last night to spin around and shut the puck low along the ice and beat Wamsley. So he's got to be feeling pretty good about his game right now.
This is Kerich getting it over the line, number 6 for the Soviets. Jamming in there, it clears it out, and it pops out to center ice, and Durden's going to have to go back for it. 2:05 remaining in what was a double minor to Tикканен that called at 18:36 of the second period. Here they come again. At center ice, Aquilina. Kerich ducks away from a check. Jordan then tried to feed it to Aquilina, who has to race after it in the corner, but beating him to it is Kevin Lowe, and it's cleared down the ice once again with 1:43 left in the power play. Hervé having a little trouble handling that puck. Back to the line comes Varyanov. He's checked. S.Smit clears it up along the boards. It bounces over Kurri's stick. And out at center ice, Jordan backhands it into the Oilers zone. Wilkenboom is back there to get it as Fuhr leaves it for him. There's the Smith, and Smith shoots it down the ice. And not much is really happening as far as the power play for the Soviets is concerned.
Definitely been a weak point tonight and last night by the Soviets, and had trouble moving that puck.
Mariano now to Zanarik. Zanarik looking for somebody out in front. He taps it back, intending to get it to the point, but it's intercepted. Mactavish to Smith. Smith ahead, and here is Messier, but he was offside on the play. Face off outside the blue line of Dynamo Riga. Coming up this Saturday.
Well, it doesn't seem like that long ago since we were back out west here in Calgary enjoying the Olympics for 3 weeks. Had great weather, but this Saturday night we're going to be seeing the warm weather. We're going to be in L.A.
Oh, yes. Inside the Forum, watching Wayne Gretzky play this team. And that'll be brought to you right here on CTV. Live from Los Angeles. Like worst ways to spend a New Year's Eve.
Could use a suntan right about now, too.
S.Smit clearing it back into the Soviet zone. Back there is Selyanin. Selyanin, this power play has just sputtered all the way through. Semyonov getting it now into the slot area. Here's a chance as the puck is rolled in front. But it was intercepted at the defense as Smith got in the way of that. Now Lomackin intercepted. Lomackin trying to find his man. Does Yashin shoots it on a backhand. But he was on the short side. Good job there by Grant Fuhr to hold the post. And Lomackin trying to squeeze it through there. And Fuhr was right there to block it. 9 seconds left of the power play.
There's Yashin breaking in. Watch when he gets this puck. A good move by S.Smit, and he dives and keeps him at a bad angle. Grant Fuhr just hugging that post, picks it off on his left pad, and the collision in front discharged the net. Bob Hall blew the whistle to stop play.
Sergei Yashin, that's asterisk you see next to the statistics are because he's one of the pickup players. In this case, he comes from Moscow Dynamo. And 8 seconds remaining in the power play as Krylov keeps it in. Lynch takes a shot. He's wide of the net with that. Durden moves in after it. Into the corner now it goes to Hextz. Hextz trying to get it out in front, but he put it right on the stick of Huddy. Huddy throws it out to center ice. The penalty is over. And Vito-Lynch swinging back into his own zone. Now comes through center ice. Working to the line. Still with that puck. Good job of hanging onto it. Now unloads it, but again a very weak pass, and Krylov is there. Now round behind the net for Hechts. Hechts out in front, quick shot, rebound. And sliding and blocking that play was Huddy. Second time round as Vitolinьš had 2 good whacks at it. Soviets are getting a chance now inside the zone. Hechts in there. He is upended on the play. And it's Huddy who one-hands it out to center ice. Carson breaking loose. Carson checked by Tomanas coming back. Puck is cleared to center ice. Tикканен, he's checked on the play. And the Soviets bring it to center ice, only to be checked on the play, and back in they come with Kurri, stopping, checked as he tried to get set to make a play. Now Kurri circling back with it again, clears it in front. Flip pass in front of the net, nobody there. Tикканен had peeled off towards the far boards, and it was steered that way by Irbay. Tикканен being closely checked. Kurri gets the pass from Tикканен. Kurri circling. He's checked, still inside the zone. Kevin Lowe. Lowe being checked by Kerch. From behind the net, there's a shot by Kurri, and it's knocked away, and the Soviets start out. At center ice, lead pass for Belyavsky. Belyavsky, it's a 2-on-1, and way across the goal mouth comes Bure to break that one up. Good pass across the goal mouth, but Bure spelled it out. Now Kerch, game's opening up. Kerch across the line, pass is intercepted. And the Oilers come back with Bukbергger. A rink-wide pass to Messier. Messier over the line, shoots it, and it's kicked into the corner. Smith. Soviets clear it out to center ice. That pass went right by Belyavsky. Here's G.Anderson, knocking it just inside the line. Maryanov clearing it off the boards on the far side for Chudinov. He clears it out to center ice, and Zanarek unable to get free. Messier swinging back into his own zone. Smith couldn't hold it. Trying to get in over the line is Shashov, and he's nailed up against the glass by Messier. Steven Smith. Smith out at center ice. Ahead for Anderson. Anderson getting set. Shot. It's steered behind the net by Irbay. Tomanas is in there. The puck is cleared down the ice. They'll be icing on this one. As heading back to pick it up will be Bukbергger. The whistle goes. We've played 5 minutes and 30 seconds here in the third period. Still 1-0 Edmonton. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series. Encore's been a little busier here in the early stages.
Here's some action in front of the net. Harry Vitolinьš in front of the net gets one shot. A great slide by Huddy coming across and blocking it. Here's a 2-on-1. If you can't get from one side of the net, look how far Grant Fuhr came, and he actually picked that puck off with his stick. Believe me, if you're a goaltender and you think you don't have to be able to skate or be quick on your feet, you're never going to play in this league.
You
come a long way.
May have been a time, but you can't be a non-skater now and play in this league. Things happen now much quicker, with much more traffic around the net. Goaltenders have to be very, very agile, not only laterally, but up and down.
Look at Anatoly Semyonov, one of the fellows they picked up from the Moscow Dynamo team. But you know one thing about Fuhr? Fuhr is a goaltender that doesn't like to stay back in this net. So when he comes out, he will challenge a shooter, but he doesn't go so far that to go from one side of the net, he can't get there. If he was out too far, there's no way he could keep his angle getting to the other side of the net. But he'll go out past the round part of the goal crease to take a shot and still just be far enough where he can get to the other side if he has to.
It's one of the things that Irbay can do. Skate. Even outskate a guy like Holton Lube last night. Whistle goes on that. Penalty is going to be called, and this one is going, I believe, against Adams of the Oilers. So still 1-0 Oilers. 2 of them going, as a matter of fact. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series. Flashing Miners at 5:48. Greg Adams. And also Smирнов. Sergei Smирнов. So they'll spend the next 2 minutes in the penalty box, and the teams will play full strength. Ball. And from the face-off, Durden behind his own net. Players get messed up there, and there is Tикканен blasting one. Very alertly Irbay handled. I think Irbay said, we were talking to him after the game last night, was the sustained pressure you get in the NHL that you don't get in Soviet hockey. Something he had to be very alert for.
Ron Durden there made 2 bad plays. He made a bad pass from behind his net that went out to a point, and then he went out in front of the net and he just stood in front of Urbe and screened him, and that's why Urbe had a real tough time handling that shot. This is a 32-year-old defenseman. He might be getting a little tired back-to-back games with the physical attention that's been going on out there.
Lomackin was hooked down. There's a play in front of the net and a great save. The rebound. Loose in front of the net, and there's Urbe at his best again. Should have been a penalty on that play. It was let go, and it led to a great scoring chance for Edmonton. I know the referee is feeling pretty bad about that one right about now, because you don't like to see a missed call result in a great scoring chance. Here's a lead pass for Carson. Cleared right onto the stick of Chudinov. Out to center ice low. Cleared it off a leg. Center ice zone, Yashin. Yashin was the one that was hauled down at the line. Lost his stick in the process. Now here's Lowe. Lowe at center ice. It's cleared in. After it is Vitolinьš in there, and they had him lined up. He stepped aside. Puck is cleared in. Messier circling near the line. Now he gets it out. Muni trying to get set. That is chopped out to center ice, and Kevin Lowe picks it up. Lowe back to Messier. Messier straight up ice for Bukbергger. Bukbgerger working to the line. He's checked on the plate. Tomatis tries to come back, and he is upended. Good check out there by Muni. Here's a chance for Anderson, and again Urbe is out there making the play. Well, fans starting to pick it up a little bit now. Like the action. Here's Tomatis. Heat band on it. Spins. He goes down under the checking of Lowe. Here comes Anderson at center ice. Backhanding it in. And Urbe sticks it out to the corner. Out at center ice now. They have to let it go. It was a 2-line pass. Anderson turning and coming right back in again. Messier can't knock that down. And Frolov behind his own net. And again piling in there. And I think there is going to be a penalty, perhaps, for too many men. It is called for too many men on the ice. 1-0. Oilers leading. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Well, there's the coach of the Soviets, and here is Urbe.
The big save on the break-in. He comes across. Look how quickly he gets back to his other feet. But watch how he's going to stone Glenn Anderson. Glenn Anderson makes a great move. Urbe does not wait for Anderson. Watch this. Urbe moves right now, not giving Anderson time. Anderson made a great move getting by the defenseman, but Urbe says, I'm not going to get enough time to get set to do something. What that means is Urbe is forcing Anderson to do what he wants him to and not waiting to see what Anderson's going to do. That's how you control hockey games.
Well, a penalty has been called on Riga. Too many men on the ice, being served by Kerch, number 6. And here we go, center ice. A lot of that flurry was caused by a hook at the blue line. Referee completely missed. Here's Anderson. Anderson, and again, Urbe out there, and he did it to him again. Urbe then caught the pass out as he was going back. You know, you need a sixth sense to be able to play that. Nobody can ever teach you to do that sort of thing, because there's a timing factor in there that has to be obviously split second. Watch his action here.
Here he comes. He knows he's going to get something. He's going to create something. He's not going to get the puck. He's going to get him on the feet. And that's what throws Anderson off. What he's done is just force the puck to go into the corner to give himself time to get back to the net. But there's no hesitation in this young man's approach. He's going to sit back. He said, if I sit back there and let them shoot, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to be making them do what I want to do. I'm not going to give them any time. If they're not ready to shoot, then I'm not going to get ready to stop it.
Somebody asked him if he'd like to play in the NHL. He says, that would be very interesting.
He had a little twinkle in his eye, too.
He has some fun, this kid.
Well, those 2 saves that he just made in that last shift on Anderson and the one before on Carson can be very, very big, because it still keeps Riga within 1 goal.
Here's Smith. Smith's in front of the net, and it was deflected over top of the net. They were trying, Anderson was, to deflect it up to the top corner, but he had too high an angle on it, and it deflected up into the crowd. 1:27 left in the penalty to Riga, the bench penalty. As we look at Urbe, absolutely no international experience at all. Played in a European junior competition one time. but he was voted the second All-Star goaltender behind Sergei Milnikov last year in the Soviet Union. I'd have to think that they're going to vote him number 1 this year. Some of the things he does when the team is well down in the standings. Here's a chance now. Anderson's been quite a factor in the last couple of shifts. Anderson again with the puck. Anderson turning. He gets it to Lowe. Lowe cross ice. Trying to get it in front for Bukberger, but he was unable to reach that puck. At least Smith has got it now. Smith trying to get it to Anderson. There was nobody there. Digging in after it is Chudinov for the Soviets. Puck is cleared up over the glass again. We'll get another face-off with 55 seconds left in the Riga bench penalty. As we look there at Steve Smith.
Very aggressive. He was right up in the corner trying to force that. He was the closest guy to the puck. They're on a power play. He says, I'm not going to go back up. I'm the closest guy. I'm going to get right in there. I don't care how deep I have to go. And if you've watched the game tonight, the Edmonton Oilers defensemen move up and take part in the play a lot more than the Riga defense. The Riga defense are very content to stay back. It's got to be a real glorious opening for them to move up and be a fourth man.
This Riga team offensively needs quite a bit more out of the line that they picked up. Semyonov, Lomackin, and Yashin. Not really been that effective offensively. Puck is cleared out through the slot. Kuri, his shot, he shanks it a bit. The puck wound up, they shoot again, and again. Irbe back across the goal mouth and made the save. Oh, is he agile. Now through center ice. There's Yashin. Yashin kicks it loose. He's knocked off balance by Tикканен. And behind the net, Kuri just lets it go to Tикканен. Yashin's in there forechecking. Now peels off as Tикканен brings it out. Messier couldn't reach that pass. And the Soviets come back in. There's the shot. And a hard one that is just wide of the net, taken by Smирнов. Here come the Oilers. Kuri. Kuri at center ice over the line. Kuri circling for the corner. Out in front. And a chance there in front of the net for Kevin McClellan, but he couldn't get good wood on that pass out. Karich now comes in. He takes a shot. Karich again takes a whack at it. And again, Soviets trying to come out, and there's going to be a penalty here as Yashin was trying to come out of his zone, and he was upended. And so the Oilers, Gary Kuri will draw the penalty. 1-0. The Oilers lead it. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. And it happened just outside the line as they were starting to come out of the zone. Yashin is upended.
What a save Irbe made on the Messier just before that. That was a classic save.
Well, from the face-off now, they'll try again. They have not had much of a night as far as the power play is concerned, but then again, neither team has. But the Oilers all evening from the 17:29 mark of the first period have been playing with the lead. A 1-0 lead, albeit. Turning with it and beating it rink wide is Durden at center ice. Roloff, number 3. Roloff unloading it. Far boards. Roloff gets the return pass. Here comes his shot, and it's steered up into the crowd off the stick of Grant Fuhr.
A big shot from the point. We're going to have a look at the other, and we just saw a good save by Grant Fuhr, but down at the other end, Irbe, watch this puck as a knuckleball come off the glass. Now watch the left of your screen as it comes off the boards. Messier picks it up, and there's Irbe coming over with a glove. Now you can't teach people to do that. Here's the shot by Roloff. Watch the pad and the glove. That was labeled for the low corner. Grant Fuhr is just up to the test at the other end also. Good goaltending, Joe. The one thing that I realize about the Soviet teams is they work so much on their passing game. The one trait that's really missing from their game is their players never try to beat anybody one-on-one. And that is how you open up a play. If you have a person who can beat somebody consistently one-on-one, now you're going to get scoring chances. The Soviets don't really work on that.
Unable to hold it is Roloff at the line. Messier gets a little room. He goes down in front of the net. Shoots, scores on the backhand. It started when Roloff could not handle the puck at the blue line. A bouncing puck. It gave Messier, who's had a big night here, a little room. And he has just better speed than the defenseman.
Oh, watch how he protects this puck. He puts his leg out, and he just goes from the left side to the right side so quickly that Irbe just can't stay with him. This is in slow motion, but watch, Irbe's going to plant his right foot, go over the stick, he throws everything out, but the speed of Messier, he just gets to the other side of the net with great poise and lifts it up into the far corner.
Well, a short-handed goal. Tикканен draws the assist. From the face-off, cleared down the ice, and now we'll watch and see whether this Dynamo Riga team is capable of opening it up a little bit. They're down 2 with 7 minutes and 59 seconds left in regulation time. And there's going to be a penalty called on Shashov at center ice as he blindsided Kevin Lowe. That will either be a cross-check or a charge down there. We'll await the ruling. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. When Lowe goes, so does the Soviet player. He tossed them both.
Watching the center of the screen here, that was definitely Shashov going out of his way to get Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe justifiably upset, and he takes a punch at him, but Bob Hall calls them both. And in my book, I mean, there's only one way. Should have been an interference call on Shashov. Here's another look at a goal by Messier. Watch how quick he sticks that leg out, protects the puck. He gets it on his backhand, and you notice how he held it there till he got good control of it before he threw it up in the net. A sign of a very, very skilled player.
Skilled player and a guy who's confident in those skills.
Well, a lot of guys will go across the net and they'll try to backhand it in right away instead of letting them catch up to the puck so they can get a good grip on it to loft it into the net. It's just a small thing, but so important.
Well, the other thing about something like that is the longer you can hold the puck, the more the goaltender is forced to commit. Hervé was out of the play by the time the shot was made. Over the line comes Denarek now, and he's offside on the play. 7:14 left in regulation time. Goals by Kурри and Messier. Another well-established firm. And it's 2-0. The Oilers are leading.
Well, that's a goal that can get Mark Messier in here, because those are the type of goals that he is capable of scoring. And for this team to get a leader like that who's got the wheels, has got the rockets, has got the strength and the finesse to start putting it together so that every time he picks up the puck, he is confident that he's going to do something with it, something that is going to do a lot of damage to other teams in the National Hockey League.
Huddy behind his own net as the Soviets forecheck. That's Lomackin in on top of him. Lomackin trying to get loose, unable to get his stick free, and I think there's going to be a penalty to Huddy here. No, it's going to go to Lomackin. Lomackin is being called. 2-0 Oilers. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Holding penalty going to Lomackin. Here it is.
A bit of a hook, hold.
The hook or the hold or whatever.
He's got the stick tied up. He's got the body tied up.
Now where's the holding here? Penalty had been called at that point. Kурri, drink wide. Deep in his own end, the Soviets trying to get out of there. Kurri can't knock it down. Now the Soviets have played the whole night looking for a break. Playing defense and just looking for a break that hasn't come their way, I think mainly because Grant Fuhr hasn't allowed it to come their way. Made some good saves, although you have to also make mention of the Oilers team defense, which has not allowed what you'd call high percentage shots. Here's Carson clearing it across the goal mouth. Kurri deflected it wide. That is cleared up ice once again, knocked to the ice by Chris Joseph. Carson over for Kurri. Kurri going in, clears it in front. Tикканен deflected it wide again. Again, Hervé right up there at the top of the crease, giving no room for Kurri to shoot at. Huddy across the line. Tикканен ahead for Huddy. Huddy's shot. That is knocked away by the defense. The puck is deflected out to center ice by Vitolinьш.
Every team wants one, Ron. When you're playing a good defensive club and they're not giving you a lot of opportunities, you look for that game breaker, just like this guy from inside.
Now here's Messier in full flight again. Tremendous. Here's a great chance, and again, you can't say enough about him. He's just there all the time. Whenever you need him, you have to really work to get a goal against him. It's like Fuhr. Here's a chance again for the Soviets. They shoot, they score on a backhand. Vitolinьš, as he cut across the goal mouth, Fuhr tried to stay with him, but it was almost like the Messier goal. Vitolinьš held it, and finally there was an opening presented itself.
Well, that's a little bit of poise right there. Watch here as the Soviets move in. The puck's going to come out. Here comes Vitolinьš, picks it up. He goes across. Fuhr's with him, and he actually puts it in from a very, very bad angle. Fuhr has his, watch Fuhr's stick. Watch the hole between the stick and the post. Right here, there's nothing there. It goes under Fuhr's stick and through the skates of Joseph and into the net. Good poise by Harry Vitolinьš.
Well, there's the Canadiens' draft choice. I don't know whether he'll ever play for the Montreal Canadiens, but they took a shot in the 10th round last year. Unassisted goal. It came at 14:36, and we've got a 2-1 hockey game again. They don't quit, this team.
Sometimes you get a tight game like this. You look for guys who are game breakers. Messier's a game breaker. Gretzky's a game breaker. Lemieux is a game breaker. They're going to do something. You know, you used to have Guy Lafleur in Montreal, Ricky Middleton in Boston. They all could do something special and get that one goal in a tight game.
Well, the Soviets, of course, don't have that game breaker. They have a line there that you would think could do some damage, but they just haven't shown too much.
Well, they do have some game breakers, and what they have is individuals who are capable. Here's that last save, as we're going to see Urbe. Watch Messier come in, no hesitation, out in front to Carson. Now watch, as Urbe moves out, he's right down and shuts Carson down in a hurry. Great mobility by a young goaltender. And you know something, he went out there, he wasn't pulling up, he was staying right down on that shot.
Another save on Steve Smith. Smith gets it again out near the blue line. Smith back to the blue line. Here's Messier getting it. Messier shooting it in. It's knocked off a leg as Varyanov got it there. Penalties are over. And here come the Soviets. They can't get it out. Smith again. That shot is wide of the net. Acton up against the far boards. Taking a bump in there is Chudinov. Puck is cleared up along the boards. Soviets just not able to get out of their own zone right now as Messier does a great job of forechecking. Shots on goal, 9-6 in the period for Edmonton. Goals are even. Messier again. Shot. And that one, I don't know. It hit something. Maybe the crossbar. It changed direction, and I don't think in that case it was Urbe who caused it to change direction. The Soviets really being hemmed in. Now they get out of their zone, finally. Out at center ice, it's Varyanov. Varyanov to Lomackin. Lomackin tried to make a play, three his legs. There's a shot. Rebound bounces out. And Acton has it. Acton out of the blue line. He takes a hit in front of his own bench by Zinovьев. And the Soviets come right back in again. Trying to get around the defense is Yashin. Up against the boards is cleared in front. Lomakin's shot is blocked at the defense. Still in there. Here's a shot just wide of the net. Taken by Semyonov. Now in the corner. Low, clearing it into the corner on the far side, and it's cleared all the way down the ice. Going back to touch it will be Selyanin. Icing will be the call with 3:28 left in regulation time, and the Oilers leading Riga 2-1. Now, look at Mark Messier, who is offensively has been the outstanding player of the game. Face-off will be deep in the Oiler end, and the Oilers control it. Muni clearing it out to center ice now. He'll try to keep it in there. And a big pile up in front of the net, and Urbe down on his knees, directing traffic in there as he also managed to come up with the puck. 2-1. The Oilers lead Riga with 3:10 left in regulation time. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series. One at each end of the ice. They haven't faced a lot of shots. It's not one of those 60-65 shot games. Urbe has just been incredible again. In the case of Fuhr, I don't think the shot quality has been quite the same. But he's been there also when he's had to be. Say quality, I mean those glittering scoring chances. Soviets just don't manufacture those. Macтэвиш ducking away from a check inside the Riga zone. Macтэвиш cutting out in front again, and it's checked away from him. Soviets still unable to get out of the zone. McClellan takes a shot. Urbay again. Coolly kicks it away. Low at the point. Behind the net, Macтэвиш is checked. It rolls out into the goal mouth, and Urbay quickly covers it up, and we'll have another face-off deep in the Riga zone. Interesting to see the way things have changed since the goal by the Soviets. Suddenly the whole pattern of the game has gone down into one end, and the Edmonton Oilers have been forechecking beautifully.
Well, look at Vladimir Yurzanov. He's wants to get his team going, but they're having a little trouble getting out of their end. The Oilers were just doing a great job, Adams, Macтэвиш, and McClellan, of putting some pressure on in there in the Soviet end, so they couldn't get out. The Soviets are a little unsure of themselves right now. They want to mount an attack, but they don't have any flow going.
Pile up right in the face-off circle, kicked aside by Carson. And now the Soviets will get it going as Belyavsky tries to get out, only to be forced back again. Belyavsky from the corner. Straight up ice at center ice now Semyonov. Semyonov gets it to the line, but then Huddy takes over, taps it through center ice. Lomakin puts it right on Jimmy Carson's stick, and Carson shoots it in. Takes a bad bounce off the board. Salyanin corrals it. And it's stolen again. Tикканен in front. Curry. Curry trying to get set, and he shot wide. Or the defenseman deflected that one. He was playing goal for Urbay, who was down and out of the play. Curry. He's checked at center ice. Here's Semyonov. His shot off the blocker. Fuhrer has lost sight of it, but it bounced out of harm's way away to his left. Carson at center ice. Ahead for Curry. And the Soviets go back for it. Frolov. Out over the blue line. Here's a lead pass for Yashin. Yashin over the line along with Lomakin. Yashin trying to find the late man. Unable to. The puck is hoisted up against the glass, and Jari Kuri has it. Kuri. Starting out, a backhand pass. Out over the line. A pass for Messier. Messier's in. And again, it's poked away by the stick of Urbay. Puck is deflected high in the air and bounces up into the crowd. And with 1:13 left in regulation time, we'll get a face-off at the Dynamo Riga blue line.
Well, the Edmonton Oilers were doing a great job. There's a look at Kelly Bukberger. He's been a very aggressive player tonight, but the Edmonton Oilers in their end, even when the Soviets got down to the Edmonton end, everybody was picked up. There was no cover. Here's Tикканен moving the puck into Curry. Now watch Urbay put the stick. He's still flopping, still throwing the stick, and Curry shoots it just short side and a little bit wide.
On the face-off, it comes back to Steve Smith. Smith, Messier ahead. Anderson couldn't knock that down. Soviets again with Chudinov. 1 minute left now in regulation time. Will they pull their goaltender? I doubt it, as the puck is hoisted up into the Soviet bench. It's not something they do in the Soviet Union. But you never know. Yurzinov has been over here enough. He just may try it.
It'd be interesting to see if they've ever practiced to pull their goaltender. I've never really seen them do it in practice. And it's one thing that, to go into a game like this, and if you've never done it, never worked on it, are you sure your players are going to know what to do if you do it? Because they are a believer in getting everything down pat and being tremendously organized.
On the face-off, Zanarik in the center ice zone is knocked away from him. Moving up with the puck is Zinoviev. Zinoviev trying to move in. He tried to backhand it into the slot area. Smith then sends it to center ice, and here's Messier. Messier with Bukberger. Messier getting set, and it's knocked away by the defense. Making a good play there was Chudinov. Now out at center ice. Lead pass, and Smirnov unable to get that pass as it was behind him. Smith, 28 seconds left now. Ahead for Anderson. Out of center ice for Bukberger. Here's Messier all alone, and he scores, but I believe I heard the whistle go. It was offside at the line.
Artur Urbay diving at Mark Messier, playing it right to the end, but offside. The pass came out from inside the Edmonton end, could be a little questionable here. Didn't get touched. Because it didn't get touched there, here's Messier coming in and just sliding it under Hervé. But the key was the puck did not get touched in center ice. It was banked off the glass, and Messier could be questionable whether the puck did precede Messier over the line or not.
I'd like to see that from the beginning of the play.
He's been an outstanding player tonight. The second goal that the Oilers got, the way Messier's been skating, killing penalties. You know, he's been what I think Glenn Sather and the management of the Oilers have been waiting for is to come back in and be the Mark Messier, to be the force that he can be.
Well, they've got their big shooters out there, such as they are Semyonov, Lomakin, and Yashin. But from the face-off, the Oilers take control again. And with 17 seconds left, puck is cleared down to the Riga line. Swinging back. Roloff shoots it in. Save is made. 6 seconds left. Up against the boards. Cleared in front. There's a shot over top of the net by Lomakin. And the siren goes. The hockey game is over. They had a good shot at it right at the end. But the Oilers have defeated Dynamo Riga 2-1. Tight checking hockey game. Another game in which we have had tremendous goaltending, especially from that young fellow, Artur Irbe.
Well, Ron, there's no doubt people are going to say, well, the Soviets can't score. But as far as this team is concerned, they haven't given up very many goals. They gave up 2 goals to Calgary. They gave up 2 goals to Edmonton. Edmonton, who is a team who's always been known for their offense, only gave up 1 goal tonight. A very hard-fought battle by both teams. We're going to look back at some of the plays that happened tonight. We're going to look at the
Messier, and the call was a 2-line pass. And we'll wait for that. We're going to get presentations coming up in just a moment. And we'll tell you that the Oilers defeated Dynamo Riga 2-1 here at the Northlands Coliseum. This is the NHL Soviet